Okay, so Marcel, welcome to my personal presentation. I use this title as my presentation. Don't let negative comments control your consumption choices. Why I choose this title? Because I think that it shows the result of my research question. What is my research question? Well, please see my presentation. I divided my presentation into 5 parts. The first one is the introduction of my research. The second one is about my research process and the research part. Third part is about stations and thinking about my research. After that, it's artifact. So let's begin the first part, the introduction. Why I generate my idea of my presentation. Firstly, I say there are a lot of negative comments around us in our daily life. To be specific, there are a lot of negative comments on consumption choices. For example, when you want to see some food and you ask the suggestions from your friend, and your friend will say that, well, it's not so jerk. I don't hope that you eat it. It's a negative comment. Secondly, why do we say this? Why do we use these negative comments? There are two factors might associated with it according to my experience. First one is observation, and the second one is reference dependence. Well, are they really associated with the negative? Associated with why do we use negative comments on making consumption choice? Maybe my research could explain it. Third one, I found that it's associated with consumer psychology. We can see that here is graph. This graph is from the Amazon. I use this short screen of iPhone 11. There are many people make their comments after buying iPhone 11, and they said put out their words to after buying it. These are the negative comments we see on the online. So why do they make these comments? We can say that there are many emotion words. But why do we use it? This is what we usually explain. I think that it might associated with consumer psychology. Uh, so here I generated my research question. The first one, my main research question is what should people do to make a reasonable consumption choice when they face negative comments on making consumption decision? Because why do I generate this question? Here are some explanation about it. However, I don't use the direct explanation to it. Firstly, I will define what are negative comments in my research. Secondly, how do negative comments influence a person making making consumption process? It's associated with explain is this question because I think that if we can find some factors to find some factors about why people use negative comments negative comments to make their own processes. I can provide some strategies to change this to help them make some reasonable consumption choices. Not all of the consumption choices are good by using the negative comments. Thirdly, it's about my suggestion. What should people do to make a reasonable consumption choice when they face negative comments or making consumption decisions? So, what my research? Firstly, what are the negative comments in this research? The definition of the comments in this research is the first one is negative comments on choosing a product or services. Secondly, where does the negative? I also explain it from the source. So where we will receive the negative comments from? I divided it according to the social distance. The people with the largest social distance is the strangers from us. Like we see some negative comments on the screen, we can see these people we don't know. We might not know all of them because they are strangers. Secondly, The people with the compared with a stranger, the people with a shorter social distance is our friends. As what I have said in the first part, maybe we will ask what we want to eat some food, like this example. The last part is the families. So when it's closest social they have the closest social distance with us. It means that we might believe them. We might believe them ideas than the previous source. But it's real, really? Maybe the next part could explain it. So how do negative comments influence a person making a consumption choice? I think that there are two different stances about it. The first one is economic stances. I use archetypes analysis to explain it because I find that when people studies this distance, they always use some what really happened in our lives to explain this distance idea, and I think that it's associated with archetype analysis. Secondly, in this distance, there are two factors I find really associated with. The first one is loss aversion and reference dependence. The reference dependence is associated with, yes, these are the two factors I mentioned in the introduction part. Second one is I will use the archetypes analysis to analyze my personal interview, and I find that some of them provide ideas is most of them provide ideas in the economic stances. So I put this part in the economic stance. Second part is about the psychological stance. It's I really mainly analyze according to the individual decision making process. So I think that this part is associated with Freud's psychological analysis. So here in my research part, I use the psychological analysis to analyze part. Here I shall give a short screen. A short screen about the speech I use in my research. This is although this man is a behavioral economics, however, however, he really studied the how the others' comments influence personal consumption choice. So I think that I use this to show that this phenomenon is associated with psychological stance. So what are the personalities analysis? In this question, we can find that the economic factors, and I use archetype analysis, because my interview people always say that well, I use the negative comments because I don't have enough money, or some of them says, well, I believe negative interviews more than the positive comments, because I think that the positive comments is fake, and I think that they couldn't make me believe it. And I find that they always make this choice not from their appearance. They use them indirectly, or they by some their experience to make this decision. So I think that what are their experience from? Their experience is from their consumption experience. So I think that it's economic factors, and it could be used archetypes analysis. And after that, the loss aversion. What's the meaning of the loss aversion here? I think it could be explained that people hate to lose their money in some consumption. in some consumption. What's reference dependence? Well, this is it's like that you have make the choice, and I believe that what you made choice is right, and I use it after and then I use it as my reference because it could make me because in my idea, in my idea, I have I have in my idea, I don't have to pay this more, to bear the loss. So I will use it as my reference dependence. What about the psychological factors? It's about psychological analysis. It's mainly about the individual decision process. I find that here are some comments about it. First one, others' comments has a potential influence on personal comments choice. Secondly, I find that people believe others' consumption comments because of the because of personal decision fatigue. It means that people have to make a lot of decisions in their life, so they feel tired about it and don't want to make more. This is decision fatigue. Well, they will use the negative comments as their reference. This could some people in my interview also showed this idea. Secondly, if a person lack experience in an area, he or she will be easy to believe others. Well, this is associated with the question because I also find some people in my interview. Yeah, in my interview, they say that I don't know about these products more, so I want to use the negative comments to as my reference. Although I know that some of or little of positive comments is true. And the last part, I think that objective conditions has the function to enlarge the effects of comments. It means that we think that what the strangers make is could be make the comments. Yeah, the comments made by strangers could be believed by us because we think that they made them in an objective condition. So what strategies I'm thinking about my research question? Firstly, I think that when you buy something for products, ask yourself three questions. Why I should buy it? If I buy it, what will happen? It is really good for the imagine, for as I imagine, because I think that why people don't have experience about the products, or why they always believe that they will uh, why they believe that they use the negative comments. I think that they don't sometimes they didn't have a deep thinking about why they need this. So and they make some unreasonable choice. So I think that people should ask these questions in there when they buy something. The second one, they should compare some good comments and negative comments at the same time. I find that in my interview, some people believe the negative comments at more than the good comments. However, this might not be true because if a product holds really good comments, you can think that maybe it's really good, and there are just a little negative points in it. You should consider this. And the third one, people should if a person knows his or her consumption custom by concentrating on daily consumption choices, he will use the negative comments clearly. And I think there are some weaknesses in my research. Firstly, I think my research is quantitative research. Yeah, I think there should be some data to provide it. Maybe in the future I will provide some data about my research. Secondly, to be honest, I think that it's still lies in the areas of economic because the consumption topics is about is a part of economic areas. So I think that there should be more explanations to this research question in the area of economic. Next part, I will introduce my artifact. Firstly, why do I use my artifact? I will use a simulation game as my artifact. According to the theory expected, I think that a simulation game could help us enjoy what happens in our life. So this game could make my audience or my users learn their personal consumptions deeply than just read some books or see some movies, because there are still some distance between their life. And secondly, according to the genre format, compared with video and form, simulation game is more interested in its quantity of interaction. Thirdly, as what I say, people, my professional users, could learn more about their consumption cost. And at last, I am familiar with, according to my some personal areas, I'm familiar with person stimulation game, and I like it. Yeah. After that, I'm interested in computer science. So what are some basic elements in my game? Firstly, I defined the game as the king of the consumers. It's a name. Secondly, I think that it's a property. It's a life stimulation game because I will stimulate what will happen in our life. Thirdly, what's the process of the play game? Firstly, the person, my user could play the game, and then they will make their consumption choice in the game. At last, the system will form a personal consumption report for the user to know his or her consumption behaviors deeply. And what's my end goal? My end goal is young people aging from 20 years old to 25 years old. Why I set this end goal? This is because the reason is that my mini interview group is this group. So I think that maybe I should I think that they provide a lot of things in my research, and I can get easy and I can easily get some ideas from them. So I set this group as the main aim group. Maybe there in the future will be other ages group in my game. Who knows? And what the main image is in my game? If you choose a male in my game, you will use the image of Trevor, and if you choose a female in the game, you will be the actor of Treasure in my game. What's the game sense? I set offline consumption and online consumption to sense because I hope that it will help you to learn about what you do online and what you will do offline. Maybe you believe the negative comments on online consumption and you don't believe negative comments on offline consumption. Who knows it? Maybe my game can tell it. What's a background? And I set it in a small town. You are living in a small town, and you have big family and a lot of money. However, when you buy something, you like to use others on consumptions and comments as your reference. What I want to add here is that in my game, you can just use it as your reference. So I add this point here. The products of the world could benefit all of your need, no matter online or shopping line. And after one day, consumption, you will receive the suggestions from consumer consultant. After 1 year in the game, after 1 year, yeah, this is not the same. The 1 year in the game is not the same in the as the real world. I want to highlight this. After 1 year in the game, you can get a report from from your consumer consultant Chen. So now one day you go to a restaurant and you may ask something. Who knows these things? Maybe you will see when you see the game, you will know these things. It's the image of Trevor. It's an image of treasure, and this is our consumer consultant Chop. It's so funny, right? And we can say this is a personal consumption without form. So that's all about my presentation. I hope that you can enjoy this part. And if you want to know more about your choice or your negative consumption choice, you can how you make your consumption choice on the influence of negative comments. You can connect me as soon as possible. That's all. Thank you.